So we go ahead and go for it. Mridanga for now, Buddha. And Bhagavad Gita. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaham Vishnu Padaya Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sannavade Vaschatad Shatarine Namaste Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihare Radha Gopijana Balabha Girivaradhade Yashoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashoda Nandana Yamuna Tira Banachade Yamuna Tira Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihare Radha Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihare Jaya Radha Gopinath Radha Gopinath Radhe Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada 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 Haribo 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 Nitai Gaura Haribo Nitai Gaur Premanande Shri Harinam Sankirtan Yagi ki jai, Shalam Prabhupada ki jai, Shri Shri Radha Gopinath ki jai, Shri Shri Jagannath Badav Subhadramai, Shri Shri Gaur Nitai ki jai, Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. All glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. Omagyantimirandasya Ganandana Shalakaya Chaksharanmiritam Yana Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yana Bhutale Swayam Rupakadam Mayam Danati Svapadantikam Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bevacha Patitanam Pavanepyo Vaishnavepyo Namo Namaha Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nityanamine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gaurabani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschitya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Patai Mahat Priyama Pura Vibur Nirmaik Satyada Musupurusha Bhungtai Gunan Sada Sada Satmaka Yan Krishista Bhagavan Vacham Sime. Hare Krishna. Welcome everybody. And so today we'll traditionally read one of the texts from Bhagavad Gita. as it is, translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. And this is chapter 3, which is called Karma Yoga, and text 26. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Na buddhi bhedam janayat agyanam karma sanginam jasayat sarva karmani vidvan yukta samacharan. Translation. So as not to disrupt the minds of ignorant men attached to the fruitive results of prescribed duties, a learned person should not induce them to stop work. Rather, that by working in the spirit of devotion, he should engage them in all sorts of activities for the gradual development of Krishna consciousness. Purport. Vedascha sarvar aham eva vedya. That is the end of all Vedic rituals. All rituals are performed, all performance of sacrifices, and everything that is put into the Vedas, including all direction for material activities, are meant for understanding Krishna, who is the ultimate goal of life. But because the conditioned souls do not know anything beyond sense gratification, they study the Vedas to that end. But through fruitive activities and sense gratification regulated by the Vedic rituals, one is gradually elevated to Krishna consciousness. Therefore, a realized soul in Krishna consciousness should not disturb others in their activities or understanding, but he should act by showing how the results of all work can be dedicated to the service of Krishna. The learned Krishna conscious person may act in such a way that the ignorant person working for sense gratification may learn how to act and how to behave. Although the ignorant man is not to be disturbed in his activities, a slightly developed Krishna conscious person may directly be engaged in the service of the Lord without waiting for other Vedic formulas. For this fortunate man, there is no need to follow the Vedic rituals, because by direct Krishna consciousness one can have all the results one would otherwise derive from following one's prescribed duties. End of the purport. We'll read the text one more time. Na buddhi bedam janayat agyanam karma sangina joshayat sarva karmani vidvan yukta samacharan. So as not to disrupt the minds of ignorant men attached to the fruitive results of prescribed duties, a learned person should not induce them to stop work. Rather, by working in the spirit of devotion, he should engage them in all sorts of activities for the gradual development of Krishna consciousness. So this is really important verse, because there are very few people who can understand and follow Krishna consciousness. And most of the people, because serving Krishna means a lot of sacrifice, right? But most of the people, they're only interested in what they are interested. Like, for example, this little girl, she's not interested in class, in philosophy. She wants to play, right? Because, you know, everyone has their own level of consciousness, so she cannot understand much of the philosophy. And that's why, for example, there is kids Janmashtami organized, so they have a lot of engagements there, and so they can play with Krishna in the center, right? Where is it? Kids Janmashtami? Huh? Nearby.
Nearby public school.
Yeah. So this is the idea that, and you can see in other spiritual organizations who are a little bit more organized. I mean, one of our late gurus, Srila Sridhar Swami, he said, if you hate organized religions, join Hare Krishnas, because we are not organized at all. So, but in spiritual organizations who are a little bit more together, you know, when people come for Sunday program, they have separate room for kids where they can play and where they can do whatever they want, and there are adults who supervise them. And so, because if you mix, you know, children with adults, you know, neither children will be happy because they cannot play, and neither adults will be happy because children will not let them listen, right? And so there are many examples like that. Basically, Krishna is telling us to use our intelligence and not expect things just happen miraculously. Srila Prabhupada was very clear that miracles are meant for ignorant people, right? But intelligent people, they know how things work. And so, learned people means devotees, and devotees expected to be learned because Srila Prabhupada envisioned ISKCON as a facility for training leaders for the whole human society, right? So that's what ISKCON's meant for, and this is what Srila Prabhupada made so much of the sacrifice. And so leader means the most intelligent person, right? And so that's very important. And where the intelligence is coming from, Krishna is saying in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 10, verse 10. What does he say? Tasham satata yuktanam bhajatam pritipurvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam yanamam upayantite. Right? Those who are serving me with love, I give them intelligence by which they can come to me. And so, what does it mean, serving Krishna with love? Any idea? It means doing what Krishna tells us to do, right? If you really love someone, you will do what they tell you to do. And so, Krishna says, use your intelligence, right? And if you try to do everything what Krishna tells you to do, Krishna will give you intelligence. Otherwise, no intelligence. Right? And intelligence is the most important element in our life, right? Srila Prabhupada was often quoting Bengali proverb, if someone has intelligence, one will have money. And he told the joke that he said, one man was asking the other one, you have any intelligence? He said, I'll look in my pockets. Why are you looking in your pockets? I'm asking if you have any intelligence. He said, well, the proverb says, if one has intelligence, one will have money, so I'm checking how much money I have. So, if we have intelligence, everything else follows automatically, right? And so, intelligence is given by Krishna and given to those who serve him with love, means those who do everything what Krishna says. And you can see that. Those devotees who are very serious in their Krishna conscious practices, automatically, whatever they need in life, Krishna is giving them, right? Krishna is giving to everybody, but especially he is giving to those who try to do something for him, right? And so this is very important, and one of the main things Krishna is telling us throughout the entire Bhagavad Gita, that we should help others to become Krishna conscious, right? But how do you do it? If you impose something or force people, Krishna consciousness is very nice, right? Is it nice? Yes. It's singing, it is dancing, it is nice prasadam, it is very nice association. Devotees are best people on the planet, and deities are always smiling. And so everything is very good. So we like it. But even if something is very good, like I'm sure many of you have some favorite preparation, whatever it is. It could be some sweet, some cake, some whatever. How many of you have your favorite preparation? Okay, everyone has a favorite preparation. Now imagine someone ties your hands behind the back, ties you to the chair, and force-feeding you with your favorite preparation. Right? What will happen to you after someone offers that favorite preparation next time? You will not want to see it, right? So that's very important factor, that even though Krishna consciousness is so nice because it is connected to Krishna and Krishna is all attractive, right? But if you give something so nice as Krishna consciousness by using force, people will start hating it, right? And do we want people to respond like that to Krishna? No. How many of us want people to be very positive and very happy about Krishna consciousness? Okay. So that's why Krishna is saying that we should use our intelligence and try to present Krishna consciousness without using any force, right? Anyone was brought here by force? No. You came on your own. You came because you wanted to come, right? But just imagine someone will start pulling you and pushing you into the temple, right? He'll probably get scared and never come near the temple anymore, right? And so Chanakya Pandit, great scholar in Vedic Shastra, he says, a learned man should never do anything towards other people what he doesn't want other people to do to him, right? And automatically, if we do something to other people, the same thing comes back to us. It's called karma. And so that's why naturally devotees are very enthusiastic in giving Krishna to other people. But it is very important for us to make sure that we do it in such a way that people will appreciate Krishna and will have interest in Krishna. Because this is what people really like, when devotees are presenting Krishna consciousness in a very nice and attractive and positive way. And it is a big contrast with at least some religious groups. Sometimes devotees in Northern California, go to some smaller towns to do Harinam. And after one Harinam, a man came and he said, "This is very nice that you're presenting God in such a positive way, dancing, singing, smiling, and giving us something nice, to, some prasadam. Because we're so tired of these religious fanatics who are like standing on the street corners and telling us that if you don't, do what we say, you will go to hell, and so tired of people sending us to hell. At least you are very, smiling, and very positive. So this is what people appreciate. They appreciate positive nature of Krishna consciousness, and that's why instead of trying to convince people by force, we should present Krishna consciousness in such a way that people will like it. Even though people want to enjoy, but Krishna consciousness is full of elements which bring a lot of pleasure, right? And that's why it's very important for devotees to become socially intelligent. It's called social intelligence, right? You understand how to operate in the society in effective ways, and present Krishna consciousness to people in a very positive and inspiring way, encouraging way. And in this regard, it is very important to remember the first purpose of ISKCON, which Srila Prabhupada established after he registered the society in 1966, that it is meant to achieve real unity and peace in the world. So we can understand that it's a very serious and ambitious plan, and it can only happen if we understand how to meet the needs. And before that it says that Krishna consciousness, not even Krishna consciousness, but it's systematic propagation of spiritual knowledge to society at large. And it's interesting, there is no mention of Krishna in the first purpose of ISKCON. And there is no even mention of God in the first purpose of ISKCON. It's just systematic propagation of spiritual knowledge to society at large, and teaching all people the techniques of spiritual life in order to check the imbalance of values and achieve real unity and peace in the world. And so that means presenting universal spiritual knowledge and spiritual principles which can help people to solve their problems and effectively help them to achieve real unity and peace, right? Because peace in the world starts with peace in the mind and peace in the heart. And so this is what Srila Prabhupada expected ISKCON, International Society for Krishna Consciousness, to achieve. And this is very interesting universal purpose actually, which would be acceptable by anyone who is in goodness, at least, right? Any good person would want to do something to help others, and any good person would want people to see peaceful and free from all the troubles and conflicts, right? And so this is an excellent ground for us to create partnerships with anybody, with other people, and with even government structures. And so if we understand how Krishna consciousness works, we can easily create partnership with other people and engage them in things which are connected to Krishna, to serving Krishna. And one example, my friend who is a devotee, but he has a father who is the head of the research institute and very prominent person in the city, and he was perceiving Krishna consciousness as some kind of, strange cult and never had any interest, even though his son was practicing very seriously. And his son was thinking, how do I make my father interested in Krishna consciousness? And father, belonging to that kind of elite circle of the society, was regularly going to the classical concerts, and they have a symphonic orchestra in the city, and he was going to the symphonic orchestra concerts. And then one time, one of our Swamis was arriving in town, and this devotee was organizing his visit. And he was thinking, can I use the visit of the Swami? And the Swami is very good musician and singer, very good kirtaniya. And he was thinking, can I use Swami's visit to make my father into a devotee? And then he came up with the idea. He went to the symphonic orchestra and he told them, there is one monk comes, and this monk is very good musician and singer. He's very good singer, but would you like to play together with the monk? Let him sing and you will accompany him. And they said, fine, why not? It's interesting. Never done anything like that before. We can accompany monks singing holy names of God with the symphonic orchestra. So they rehearsed a few times, and then they had a big symphonic concert. And so many prominent people of the city came to the concert. That was Bhakti Govinda Swami singing. And his father was in the first row. And after listening to the chanting of Hare Krishna in the accompanying, with the accompaniment of symphonic orchestra, the father became so inspired that he still keeps the picture of Govinda Maharaj on his table in his office. So he made a quantum leap in his spiritual life just because his son used the intelligence and connected his father's interest to Krishna. And so this is and there are many, many examples like that. And of course, Srila Prabhupada was showing so many examples how to connect Krishna to real life. I mean, we all understand, okay, that material world is illusory creation, but still for people it is real, right? And actually, if we connect it to Krishna, if we help people to connect their lives to Krishna, then Krishna will become very real for them. And this is the way how to achieve freedom from all miseries, not only for ourselves but for other people, and real unity and peace in the world. And on the other hand, if we don't do that, if we let people continue with their miseries, whatever they have, they will share with us. So, and if their lives are miserable, they will make sure they will share their misery with us also. So we have this choice. We either share our joy with them, or let them share their misery with them. So which one do we choose? I think first one is much better. And so this is what this verse is encouraging us to do. And this is what many devotees want to do, and some of them taking quite serious responsibility in making that a reality, making Krishna consciousness accepted on a very wide scale, and create programs which are affiliated or which carry the principles of spiritual technology, we can say, in them. And we have even a special training school to train devotees into independently thoughtful leaders who would establish partnership with the government programs and present spiritual solutions to the unlimited problems people face in the modern time. And government has unlimited funding, and so we want to give maximum number of devotees opportunity to earn their living without any problems by helping people around them to advance spiritually. So if you learn how to do it properly, you can make it into your professional career, right? Spiritually helping people. And government can provide you with unlimited funding because they have unlimited funding, right? Everybody pays their revenues, right? Government is collecting from everyone, but they collect to give, well, at least some portion to give back to people. Some, large portion is allocated for helping people with solving their problems. And so, if devotees want to learn how to solve people's problems by spiritual methods, this is what our training school is dedicated to. So, because Srila Prabhupada wanted that to happen, because Srila Prabhupada wanted ISKCON to help solving problems of so many people on a very wide scale, we can understand that it will become a reality, and those devotees who are interested in helping in that regard, and it's like helping Srila Prabhupada and Krishna is equal to helping ourselves, we can understand. If you want to know a little bit more of the details, you can always come and see me. I can give you a web page and more information about it. All right, so we still have a few minutes left before the Arati, and if you have any questions, comments on anything we've said, or if you're coming for the first time, especially, we don't mind answering any questions at all. Let me see. I'll ask my question first. How many of you are here for the very first time? Please raise your hands. Anyone? Okay. Good. Welcome. Good to see you. So, any questions from those who came here for the first time especially? Or you know everything already? So, if you have any questions, don't be shy, you can ask. Sometimes there is a apprehension that, I may ask some question which may make speaker feel uncomfortable, but I'm pretty comfortable, don't worry. You can't make me uncomfortable. We're fine. We can answer any questions. All right. Anyone else has any questions? Yes, Brahma.
If you are trying to help other people, to what extent you can explain that about Krishna consciousness when you say that we are disturbing others?
Yes. Yeah, how can you explain about Krishna consciousness if they say we're disturbing others? Yes, as long as Krishna consciousness is viewed as religious proselytation, if you heard this word, proselytation means religion is trying to recruit people to become their followers, right? Catching people to make them into their members, right? And this is what people hate. Nobody wants to be, to be forced into something. And actually, this was not the idea. This was not Prabhupada's idea at all, because he wanted people's lives to change, regardless of whether they will sign up as members of Hare Krishna movement or not, right? And so he wanted this movement to be giving movement. He wanted us to share everything we have with people, knowledge, culture, life skills, spiritual technology, right, with people. And the most important, he wanted everyone to work together towards the spiritual upliftment of the population, of the world's population, right? So that was his desire. And because he carried that spirit, and because he encouraged everyone else in the same spirit, that's why in his presence, in 70s, late 70s, late 60s, early 70s, it was, as the title of one book says, a Hare Krishna explosion, right? I mean, I don't know, yesterday I think we showed the video clip with the footage from Srila Prabhupada. Anyone have seen that? Anyway, you can look up on the internet, Ratha Yatra. I was flabbergasted. Ocean of people. Ocean, literally, ocean of, you don't see that today. It was crazy what's going on, like, it was real Hare Krishna explosion at the time. No comparison to what's going on today, because Srila Prabhupada encouraged people in that spirit. Forget about, all the bodily designations, religions, race, caste, creed, forget about it. We're all spirit souls. God is one and we're all one family, and so let's help everyone to advance spiritually. And everyone was so enthused. But when it comes to us and them, divisions, competition, and who is better, who is worse, like that, then people lose interest. They don't want to be part of it. And so this is very important that we carry Prabhupada's magnanimous spirit. And then people would be very interested. Thank you. Good question. Anyone else? Yes.
It's not a question, it's just a comment. The one line you said, the deities are always smiling.
Yes.
That's true. It makes me think that not really all the temples are the deities.
Smiling. Yes, yes. Because Krishna is always happy, right? He's the Supreme Lord. He has no concerns about anything, right? Everything is under control, right? Fully. And he has a lot of good association, everything, And so that's the idea of Krishna consciousness. If you become Krishna conscious, then anandam buddhi vardhanam, you become happy. And so this is the ultimate gift of Krishna, right? Makes you happy. All right, yes.
Sometimes people settle for less happiness, like smaller happinesses that one derives from the material world. Could you tell us a bit about the devotional happiness that one derives through the devotional practices?
Yeah, how to become happy in Krishna consciousness. And it is very interesting. It reminds me a verse from Srimad Bhagavatam, 5th canto, and this is the teachings of one of the incarnations of Krishna, who came in the form of Rishabhadev. Rishabhadev was Shakti Avesha avatar, means it was human being but fully empowered by God's energy, by the energy of the Supreme Lord. And so he was teaching his sons. He had 100 sons, and one of his sons became the ruler of the entire planet, Bharat. So that's why the planet Earth was called Bharat after him. And we know that India is still called Bharat after Maharaj Bharat, right? Because his capital was in India, and from there he ruled the whole planet. And so Maharaj Rishabhadev was teaching his sons, and he was saying, Nayam deha deha bhajam nariloke kastan kaman arhate vidbhujamye tapodivyam putrakayana sattvam shutyati asmat brahma shokyam tvanantam. So he was saying, my dear sons, human life is not meant to enjoy primitive types of sense gratification which are available even for animals, such as hogs and dogs. And he said, Tapodivyam putrakayana sattvam, that human life is meant for performing austerities for divine purposes, tapodivyam. And then he says the result of that tapodivyam, divine austerity, will be shudyadi asmat brahma sokyam tvanantam. One will become purified, shudyad, and will achieve brahma sokyam, spiritual happiness. And what is the special feature or characteristic of spiritual happiness? Anantam. It becomes eternal or unending. Anta means unending, right? And so we can understand its austerity for the sake of pleasing Krishna. It's very interesting. The more people want to become happy, the more people striving for happiness, the more miserable they become, right? There is one very interesting movie from old times, from previous century, and it's Indian movie. Yeah, I think it's called This Is Life. I don't know if anyone watched that movie. It's depicting one man who was working as a hotel clerk or something, you know. He was like doing something low pay job in a hotel, and he had a wife who was devoted to Krishna and was worshipping Krishna. And this man, he always wanted to be very wealthy and very successful in life. And one day he wanted to try and play lottery to win a lot of money. And he didn't have enough money to pay for the lottery, so he took money from DT, box, and bought lottery tickets. And then his wife scolded him. She said, "Why did you steal from Krishna?" And he said, "I'm not stealing from Krishna. You know, this is the money you took from me, and you put it in Krishna's box. So I'm just taking my money back. I'll pay you back." And she said, "You know, it's not from me. You're taking from Krishna. And if you take from Krishna, you know, you will have to deal with him." He said, "I don't believe in these things." He was basically agnostic, at least. He didn't care about anything religious, spiritual. And then at night, he wakes up and he's seeing Krishna in front of him. And he's thinking, "Oh, maybe this is dream." But Krishna says, "No, I'm not a dream." He said, "You know, why are you dressed like that? Why you have big garland, and why you have, you know, so many golden ornaments on you? Are you actor?" And he said, "No, I'm real Krishna." And he said, "Okay, prove that you are real Krishna." And Krishna said, "How do I prove?" He said, "Okay, disappear from this place and appear there." Krishna said, "Okay," disappeared and appeared. Okay. He said, "Wow, this is amazing. How did you do that?" "Can you, you know, go the other way, disappear there, appear here?" Krishna did that. He said, "Wow, this is amazing." But if you're real God, then why, you know, like, my wife is worshipping you for so long, and why we still have so many problems with money? And Krishna said, "Well, because your wife is not really interested in anything material. She's happy with her devotion." And he said, "Okay, but I'm not happy with that. I want to be successful. I want to have a lot of money, and because that will make me happy." And Krishna said, "Well, I doubt that money doesn't make one happy." And he said, "No, no, no. Just give me a chance. You know, if you're real God, make me wealthy. This is what I want." And Krishna said, "Okay, I'll make you wealthy if you want." And then, but you know, it will not make you happy. But he said, "No." And he says, "Krishna Maharaja, I will prove you that, you know, I'll become happy once I have, you know, some fortune in my life." And then, cut the long story short, the movie shows how he wins a lot of money, and then he buys a hotel, and then he buys another hotel, and he becomes like very wealthy and influential man. But then his own family and children, you know, when they were brought up in very austere conditions, they, you know, were not spoiled. But then, you know, once they become very rich, they become very spoiled, and they get in all kinds of nonsense and start doing criminal activities and this and that. And so his own children, his own family members, they create so many problems for him, and he becomes very sick and tired of this. You know, it's like artificial relationships, people interested in his money rather than him, etc., etc. So he's facing so many problems, and regularly Krishna is appearing to him, and he's saying, "So you have enough money, are you happy now?" And he says, "No, no, no, I'm not yet happy, but I'm working on it," etc. And then, you know, basically at the end of the movie, he's like completely sick, he's like almost bedridden, and he has so many, you know, like so many types of medicines in front of him, and it's Krishna appears to him. He said, "What are you doing?" "I'm taking my medicine." "So what is this medicine? What is the name of the medicine? You know, can you read it out to me?" And he says, "What? Are you illiterate? You cannot read?" Krishna says, "No, I want you to read for me what's written on the label." And then he says, "This is tetramycin," and something else sin. And then Krishna says, "Can you say it slowly?" It is tetramycin. He says, "My sin." "So you agree that all these are results of your sins?" He says, "No, that you're playing the words. It is a medicine." And he said, "You can't understand that everything you're facing, that's only results of your sins," etc. And then, you know, at the end of the movie, he agrees. He says, "Yes, Krishna, I agree that material happiness is impossible in this material world, and so I surrender. I want to become your devotee. And so this is the idea of the movie and idea of Krishna consciousness, actually, that nothing in this material world can actually make us happy, and the more we try for happiness, the more we become miserable. But if we forget about our own happiness, and if we think how to make Krishna happy, then we become really happy. And so sacrificing everything for Krishna's sake, the more we sacrifice everything for Krishna, the happier we become in life. And actually, one who sacrifices everything will never miss anything in life. And Srila Prabhupada is very vivid example of that, because he gave up everything, right? Family, business, his home country, and he went abroad just because his guru wanted him to give Krishna to the whole world. And he came with nothing, and he got everything from Krishna. It's like his father, when he was young, he was telling him, Krishna has, Supreme Lord, has unlimited hands. And if he wants to take anything away from you, how can you hold on to anything, right? He will still take away. But if he will want to give something to you, with his thousands of hands, how much you can take. And so that showed very clearly in Prabhupada's life, right? That first Krishna took everything away from him, and Srila Prabhupada didn't mind. He knew, okay, this is Krishna's mercy, and then he fully dedicated himself to serve Krishna, and then Krishna gave him unlimited, like literally billions of dollars to build or to open. Not all the temples were built, many temples were just purchased buildings and remodeled into the Hare Krishna temples, but 108 temples in 12 years. And so many books published, 60 million books, all these achievements, it's like impossible to imagine. So, and he was really happy. And he had everything to serve Krishna, but for himself, simple sannyasi, right? He had nothing. So this is real happy life in Krishna consciousness, when we do not want anything for ourselves, but everything for Krishna and for benefiting other people, or not only people, but all other living entities. So this is real happy life. All right, thank you. Okay, 2 more minutes. If anyone has any question, you have last chance. Okay, the offer expires very soon.